Hello friends, Cole Chance, YOGATX, and I'm going to make a little video here for Yoga for Strength. So this will be a little more challenging, but if you're ready to start building some muscle, we've been working on flexibility, so let's start to conjure up some strength as well. So let's go ahead and start at the top of our mats. Hands at heart center. And take an inhale. And exhale. And let's inhale. Hands up to touch. Exhale, bring your hands all the way through your middle line. Start to hinge at your hips. Have your micro bend in your knees. And come down. Inhale, halfway lift. Shoulder blades away from your ears. And exhale, fold. One last time, inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Let's step back to plank pose. So heels going towards the back of the room, shoulder blades roll onto your back, away from your ears. You want most of the weight going into the L of your finger pads here, your core back towards your spine. So we'll hold for another inhale. And an exhale. Shift forward. You can keep your knees up. You can also drop your knees. And slowly with your elbows in, most important, bring your chest down to the ground. Untuck your toes. Inhale, halfway, or cobra, I'm sorry. Exhale, fold. Take your palms away from the ground. Inhale, lift. Your toes going into the floor here. We want to really engage the back body. And exhale. Again with the hands off the ground. Inhale, lift. Go ahead and plant the hands and push up even farther. And then exhale, fold. Fall back to the ground. Tuck your toes. You can come up through your knees here and into down dog. Inhale, bend your knees, push your hips up. Then exhale, start to drop your heels and straighten your legs a little bit. One last breath. Look to the top of your mat. You can jump or step to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, micro bend in your knees, come all the way up, hands up, look up. And then exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, hands up, look up. Exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, step back with your right leg. We'll spin our heel down. And we're going to open up into Warrior Two. So our front heel is going to dissect our back arch. We want to bring your left hip back into its socket here. Come down. You're going towards parallel. You do not have to be there today. I'm not even there today. Your front knee tracking over. Your back heel, the back edge of your foot connected onto the ground, and you want your arch lifted. So we're here, Warrior Two. Roll your shoulder blades onto your back, stretch out. Make sure you're not coming forward here. That's a tendency. So you want to have your shoulders over your hips here. Let's go ahead and inhale, straighten that front leg. It's talking a lot. And then exhale, sink back into Warrior Two. Find your warrior here. You want to be looking out in between your front fingers. Very strong. Arms are activated, shoulders coming towards each other on the back. Good. Flip your front palm, drop your back hand, and start to rise up. This does not have to be a big rainbow arch over. This can just be here. We're the same in our legs. That tends to change, so really be conscious when you move back into reverse warrior to keep your legs the same. Go ahead and straighten your front leg. So now we're in reverse triangle, and we're gonna start to come forward. When you get to center, keep everything the same in your legs, and we'll shift forward here. When you shift forward, again, check in with your left hip, bring it back into its socket. When you can't go forward anymore, drop your left hand, and that can come to your shin, to a block, to the floor, and start to come up with your back hand. So you want to imagine that you're smashed in between two planes of glass here. Your body will want to come forward, or your hips out and your body forward. It's just you're trying to counterbalance each other. But we want, it's the sensation of bringing your chest back, your back body back, and your hips almost forward. You're not actually doing that, then we'd be going the other way, but that's kind of the thought process that will help you in the beginning. So we're in triangle here. Really plug that top shoulder in. Good, now drop the the right hand, and we'll be facing towards the front here. Put the bend back in your front knee, and we'll step forward. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Now step back with the left foot. I'll show you what this looks like from the back side. So drop your heel. So again, front leg is dissecting the back leg. My front knee is over my front heel. I'm pulling back on this hip. I don't want to start opening up this way. I want to pull back on that hip. So that's what that is going to look like. My chest is towards the side wall, but my gaze is forward. My shoulders are onto my back. You can see my back is engaged. Everything is engaged here. I'm pulling my belly into my spine. Another inhale and exhale. Flipping my front palm and dropping my back arm. I'm going to keep my legs where they are and shift backwards. I'm coming over like an arch. I'm not coming into a back bend here. I'm coming over. And I came out, you see I came out on my knee a little bit, so you have to make sure to stay where you are there. Straighten your front leg. We're in reverse triangle. And start to shift forward with your arms. Once you're back in center, shift forward like someone's pulling your fingers. Bring your right hip back into its socket. When you can't go forward anymore, drop your front hand. Keep a micro bend in your knee and come forward. Your shoulders kind of sometimes will want to roll in like this. Keep it plugged in on your back, again with the bottom. So we want to be, again, between the two planes of glass here. So it's the feeling of bringing your hips a little bit more forward and your chest a little farther back. And bring your top arm down and around, and we'll step back up towards the top. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, fold. If your body's shaking at all, that means muscles are growing. So welcome that. Challenge yourself today. And exhale, fold. One last time, inhale. And exhale, fold. Let's bend our knees here. Just say hello to our quads. So bend your hips down. See if you can get your hips parallel with your knees. We're gonna bring our hands together. Sit low. Look down in front of your toes. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, lift your chest. Try to keep your hips where they are. One more inhale. And exhale, drop your hands, forward fold. Good, very good. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. take that again. Do a really deep chair pose here. Knees really squeezing together. Bring hands in the front, shoulder blades on your back. Gaze in front of your toes. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, lift your chest. Welcome the shaking. And fold forward. Very good. Again, inhale, halfway lift, stretch that out. And exhale, fold. Very good. Plant your hands. Let's step back into plank pose. Shoulder blades onto your back, belly in. Bring your toes together here. So your feet are going to be together. Now there'll be two options here. If you feel like you're strong enough for side plank, we can go ahead and shift both of our heels to the left and open up with your right arm. Here's the other option. Bring your left knee to the ground. Turn your top heel down to the floor and bring your arm up. These are both still great. All your back body will be fired up. Front body, shoulders. This is a great pose. So whichever one you're in, come back to plank. Push back to downward dog. Take a breather. Shift forward into plank. And we'll take it on the other side. So either both heels to the right. If you're here, you want to keep your hips up, moving up, shoulder blades on your back. Or drop your knee and open up. Come back into plank. Push back, downward dog. Very good. Shift forward into plank. Come up onto your toes, so we're even farther forward. Come all the way down with your elbows in. And release. Just go ahead and relax one cheek on the ground and take a few breathers here. And go ahead and come up into Sphinx Pose. So our forearms will be parallel. Fingers coming forward. Roll your shoulder blades onto your back. My chest will be coming through my shoulders. And gazing forward. So this is almost like the cow action whenever we're on hands and knees. So it's that action of really pulling through here. You can isometrically pull your hands and your forearms backwards as you pull your chest forward. You'll get a completely different feeling and sensation. That's what you want. So we'll do Sphinx. Tuck your toes, lift your heels, lift your kneecaps. Your heels are up as well. Lift your kneecaps up. Bring your belly up into forearm plank. We'll stay here for 3, 2, 1. Now drop your knees, push back. So we're not coming all the way down to child's pose. This is actually called puppy pose. So we'll come back here. You can leave your arms out where they are. You can also take them into prayer and drop your head. This is a really good shoulder and lat opener. Inhale and exhale. And we'll come back out the way we came in. So parallel, we'll shift forward, untuck your toes, come into forearm plank for 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and drop your belly and your knees, untuck your toes, pull through to plank, really lighting up the back body here. This is not a resting pose. Again, pull through. We'll take that one more time. So, tuck your toes, lift your heels, engage your core and bring it up for 3, 2, 1. Drop your knees wide. Push back into puppy pose. Drop your head. And coming back out, we'll shift forward. Tuck the toes, lift the knees, forearm plank for 3, 2, 1. Drop the knees, untuck the toes, come through your shoulder blades into Sphinx. Good. And go ahead and release your chest all the way down. Bend your legs, reach around to your feet here. Now we're gonna come up into a cobra with our chest, and we're also going to kick our feet into our hands, and that'll hopefully cause our legs to come up as well. So let's inhale, exhale, then inhale, lift your chest, and then kick into your hands for boat pose for 3, 2, 1. Release. Very good. And plant your hands. We'll push back to child's pose. All the way back to child's pose. So knees wide, arms reaching out. Drop your forehead. Really feel your rib cage expanding between your thighs here. Feel your breath. Really embody that. Go back to your breath. Notice any vibrations in your body. Any pulses from getting everything moving, all the prana moving. Shift back forward. Push up, downward dog. We'll step or jump to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. With your feet together, take your knees wide. Sit down towards your heels and just reach out forward. This might not be accessible, but if it's not accessible, just stay in your forward fold. Just another option. You're sitting back with your hips and your heels and leaning forward, reaching forward with your hands. So opposing forces here. And then go ahead, let your hips come all the way down and we'll roll into our back. We'll take bridge pose 2 times. So let's bring our heels towards your bum. You want to be able to touch your hands to your heels. You can grab onto your heels if you'd like to. You can clasp your hands underneath your hips as well. But as you start to raise your hips, you'll slowly come up the spine, raising it higher and higher. You can roll your shoulder blades onto your back here. So your feet are parallel. You don't want your hips to go, you don't want your knees to go wide. Keep them together. You can put a block here or a pillow there as well. If this is a new pose to you, that's very helpful. And lift your hips towards the sky. See if you can release your glutes and use your back body and your thighs here. Go ahead and release. If you can't get your shoulder blades onto your back, if that's a problem, you can just kind of leave your hands down. You can also take like robot arms too. So I'll do this one this way. So we'll take one more. Inhale, start to lift your hips. So hips first, then slowly going up the spine. And you can leave your arms right here going up. This will kind of help you thinking about your hips as well, because your arms are straight and parallel, so your hips, your legs are straight and parallel. It's harder to be like this if your arms are or this way. It just kind of helps you gauge. Push away On your arms, lift your hips up. Let's inhale. And exhale, slowly vertebrae by vertebrae. Start to come all the way back down the way we came in. Let's bring our feet together. Bring your knees wide. Take one hand on your belly, one hand on your heart. Just take a few minutes to thank yourself for moving, engaging your body. Feel your pulse, your heartbeat, feel your belly and your breath. As you let your hips a little more open here. Feel free to stay as long as you would like. But thank you all for coming and practicing today, and slowly you'll see these poses change if you try this a couple times a week. By a couple weeks you'll really see how much stronger that you've gotten. And that's one thing that I fell in love with yoga so much. Very quickly I saw the changes in my body and what I could do. And yeah, I'm hooked, obviously. And I hope you are too. Thank you. Cold Chance, YOGATX. Inhale, come forward, chin up. Exhale, push back, bring your chin in. Should feel really flowy. You want to be matching your breath with the movement, so it should kind of like you're riding a wave.